Yo, what's good YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the new top 5 meta loadouts you guys need to be using. So enjoy the video. Let's break 200 likes on this vid. Also, make sure y'all subscribe, those notifications turned on. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun up here today, I'm going to be giving you guys a build for the C9. I've been using this a lot, especially on like my live streams right here on YouTube, by the way. Make sure y'all stay subbed up so you can see when I be going live and ask me all the questions you want while I am live. So first thing here, though, we're going to be using the C9. This is the Black Ops 7 pre-order camo, and we can get into it. So first attachment, I'm going to be using Extended Mag 2. I've gone back and forth with using Extended Mag 2 and Extended Mag 1. I do largely believe Extended Mag 2 is going to be the move, so you guys should be running that. Underbarrel section, I want y'all to run either the vertical foregrip or the Ranger. Just kind of depends on you, your skill level, your play style. The vertical is going to help you, of course, with a little bit more of that horizontal recoil, making it so that really the only thing you have to fight is when it starts creeping up just a little bit. But otherwise, at the range you're going to be using it, I always say the Ranger is going to be better, but the vertical is still perfectly acceptable to use. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. Barrel section, I want you guys to go in here and use the long barrel. This right here is the move just because it boosts your damage range out to 18.2 meters. We don't need to worry about bullet velocity at the range we're using this. It's not like it's going to be making that big of a difference. Sure, can you feel maybe some of the shots maybe register ever so slightly faster? Maybe, but it's very negligible. And if it's not going to matter at like the distance you're going to be using it. So long barrel, but if you're really stuck on using the reinforced, that's perfectly fine. Now we're going back here to the rear grip section. I've been really enjoying using the ergonomic grip here once again. I was going pretty hard with the quick draw grip, but the ergonomic does feel very, very nice to be able to slide around, move around, like it quite a bit. And lastly, in the stock section, I should say for you guys to use the balanced stock, though the Infiltrator is a great option as well. So that right there is my full C9 build. Next up, we're going to give you guys a build, or I'm going to give you a build for the GPR 91. This is a really solid AR. You guys are gonna have really no issue using this thing. Can be built out a variety of ways, but I'll show you my favorite way personally to use it. So first thing, magazine, I'm gonna go for Extended Mag 2. I am a 60 round mag kind of guy. So y'all already know I'm gonna be going for Extended Mag 2. This is a primary long range AR, so we're gonna be going for the 60 on this thing. On a barrel, you want to go for the vertical foregrip. No ifs, ands, or buts about this. I don't care if you like the G grip or something. For whatever reason, if you like the G grip, you're not going to be using it on this gun. Don't use it. It is inferior in a variety of ways when it comes down to a long range AR. So vertical is the move. Barrel section, I want you guys to use the reinforced barrel. However, if you're playing Verdansk, the gain twist barrel is going to work out just fine for you. So gain twist barrel is going to work out great. If you're playing Rebirth, I would suggest the reinforced barrel. That way you get more of that extra damage range. You can see 45 meters versus 38 meters. It is a big enough of a difference that you will notice it. So go for this if you're playing Rebirth. Go for this if you're playing Verdansk. Now, muzzle section. I want to say I personally enjoy using this with a mono suppressor on it. It is going to have some kick. Yes. So you are going to be using a lower zoom optic as a result. I have tried using this for like a 2 and 3 times. Don't like it with a mono suppressor. If you're going to be running a 2 or 3 times on this gun, I'd recommend to go for the compensator. That way it actually works a lot better. Even though it says those optics give you recoil control, I don't really believe they do a whole lot, at least on the GPR in particular. So compensator if you're going to go for a bigger zoom optic, otherwise go for the mono suppressor. Now, speaking of optics though, I'm going to go here and use the Volziski Reflex. This is what I always like to use, so I would say for you guys to go ahead and run the reflex on this thing. It makes it feel like that the recoil is very, very manageable, especially for Rebirth. You got, a silenced AR that's absolutely lethal, great bullet velocity. You're gonna have something that's got very low recoil. If you're watching me use it in my live stream, you'll know that I'm talking about the truth right here. And like I said, if you guys want to go down here and run something like, a 2-3 times, which would be the max I would suggest to run, then I'd say maybe you can test it out with the suppressor, go for it in the firing range, but otherwise I'd say the compensator is the better move for that. So for me right here, we're gonna go in here, choose the Volziski. That's going to be that. All right, after the GPR, I got to give you guys a build for the Jackal PDW. I've been mixing up some of my top fives, right? I'll give you guys the most hard meta of all time. And we're going for a straight top tier, ungodly meta. Like, you're not, if you don't use these loadouts, like, or if you use these loadouts, you're going to win all your gunfights. So Jackal, probably the best SMG in the game right now. Of course, we're going to start with the mag. We're going to go for extended mag 2. I did test it out earlier when I was playing live, and I don't think extended mag 1 really is that great on the Jackal. Not as much of a fan, especially since I'm playing quads. I do feel like I need the 50 rounds as opposed to the 40. Feels like I'm definitely lacking. So after that underbarrel section, I want y'all to go through on the Ranger foregrip here. Trust me when I say this, this build is the absolute truth, and you guys will be frying with this thing. Great movement, great mobility, but a very high damage output and controllable recoil. Barrel section, you want to throw on the long barrel, and you guys can, if you want to, go use that VMP variant, and that'll make your iron sights a little bit clearer. Just go down to the skins tab and check that over. But I personally don't care one way or the other. It's going to look great anyways. Muzzle section, I want you guys to go for the compensator. This is going to make all the difference in the world on this Jackal PDW. It's for real will, seriously, so go ahead and use that. And lastly, we're going to go back in here to the stock section, and I'm going to use the balanced stock. This right here, we put all these attachments together. This is like my number one. I'm try-harding. I'm going to sweat my nuts off. Like, this is what I'm using right here if I'm going to go berserk. All right, speaking of going berserk, the Jackal's the number one SMG. This is the number one AR. Like, without a doubt in my mind, the Kilo is indeed him. It's the best one in the game. The AMAX also, by the way, really good. But it's just got the recoil, and I think a lot of people can't control it. I was getting a lot of comments while I was using it. People like, how do you control the recoil? The AMAX is ridiculous. It's like, no, it's not. You just got to pull down on the stick. But besides the point here, let's get you guys a build for this Kilo. So extended mag 2, 60 round mag, 60 round mag kind of guy. So that is what we are rocking. Throwing that bad boy on there. Underbarrel, vertical foregrip here as per usual. Barrel section, I will say, both the gain twist and the reinforced are very good options, and you can get away with running the reinforced or the gain twist on either map. It comes down to a little bit of preference, and that's really about it. So it's going to be great either way. You can see 45 meters of damage range, like really solid. Of course, your bullet velocity is pretty crazy. Reinforced barrel 56 meters, so 45 versus 56. I like to say the reinforced is better. Obviously, I mean, you want to extend out that damage range as far as possible, and this will definitely help you with that. So choose what works best for you, but only between the reinforced and the heavy and the gain twist barrel. Muzzle section, I'm personally choosing the mono suppressor. I think this just really complements the Kilo quite nicely. Absolutely love it. I love the way it hits. So I think that you guys should be using the mono. Otherwise, if you want a little bit more controllability, then just throw in the compensator, and like this will still be perfectly fine. It's not like you're going to be missing out on like a significant portion of range and bullet velocity just by using the compensator. You'll be very like incredibly accurate using the compensator. This will you have to control a little bit more, but of course it hits harder at range. Optic section, this is where, unlike the GPR, you can use kind of whatever you want. The Volzinski is going to work great with the suppressor. The Dobrich is going to work great with that. I mean, you can even go down here and, of course, use the 3 and 2 times, and those are going to be absolutely lethal with the suppressor. So that makes it easier to be able to use this thing for bigger, longer distances when you have an attachment that helps you with your recoil gun kick. Whereas, of course, some of the other red dots don't. But you can use this, or you can use, the Volzinski. You mix and match your optic and your muzzle attachment, whether it be a mono suppressor or a compensator, and then your optic of choice. Any combination you think of those two is going to be perfectly fine. So I'm going to go for this right here. This is what I like. This is what I recommend. And last but certainly not least, I got to give you guys at least a build for a sniper rifle. The LW3A1 Frostline, really solid sniper. I know a lot of people really enjoy using the HDR, but if you're trying to snipe on something that's not for Dansk, you don't really want to be using the HDR in Rebirth. Like, you just don't. So let's get you guys the build here for it. First thing, muzzle. Of course, we're throwing on the mono suppressor. Getting that peak bullet velocity and damage range. We're going to increase this out quite a bit, but you can see the bullet velocity is already really solid. So that is a really nice start to making this thing actually like truly lethal. So slap that on there and go into the barrel section. And what I'd recommend for you guys to do is just actually throw in the long barrel, just increase out your damage range as much as possible. You can see the gain twist, 72 meters, reinforced barrel, 79, not that great, but we get up to 90 with the long barrel. And being that our bullet velocity is already great, we can actually afford to use the long barrel when on most other guns you cannot. I mean, the HDR, you can use the gain twist because it's got the infinite one-shot headshot range, but even then they nerfed the bullet velocity quite a bit, so it's not as good as it used to be. So a long barrel is the move right here. After that, you can kind of do a variety of things with this thing. So like you go for a stock pad right here. You can go for, let's say, the lightweight pad for the aiming idle sway. It's going to help you out. You can go for really any of these things in here, and it's not going to be like bad. Obviously, you know, the weighted pad, we don't care about horizontal recoil control on a single shot sniper. Like, that doesn't matter. That's not even like relevant. So kind of do what you want to do right here. I'd say the aiming idle sway on this is perfectly fine if you guys want to go for that. Helps you hit some more shots at range. After that, we can go back in here to the stock, and we can really use just about whatever we want in here. I mean, there's a bunch of really good options. You can either go over to the comb as well. Like, I'd actually prefer even to use, like, let's say a quick draw riser comb as opposed to a stock, just so I can be a little bit faster on the ADS. So like, that's a really good option too. So nice little bit of variance you have with being able to actually customize this thing out. And last thing that's actually not going to be up for debate is going to be thrown on the 7.62 overpressure rounds, which increase your bullet velocity 15%, good gains, basically 1,300 meters a second with a 90 meter, or essentially a 91 meter one-shot headshot distance, meaning that you're going to be actually pretty fast on the ADS, good bullet velocity, good damage range. It's going to be better to use overall than something like the HDR on Rebirth Island. Even on big map, it's going to be great as well. So slap that on there. That's going to be that. That's my top 5. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen. I'll see you all next time.